Good morning. I have no idea if you might have just seen me going, seriously, but my connection went dodgy. Really, really dodgy. Now, I'm hoping I'm live. It looks like I'm live. I'm on the iPad. I'm in the front room. You can see my happiness wall behind me. I've got messages pinging up on my iPad and on my phone. So I can't really see anything that's going on. My hair is up this morning because I'm warm. So warm, so warm. But good morning to everybody who is tuning in. And how are you all this morning? That's what I want to say. Good morning. And how are you all? I have my wall of happiness behind me. Tom has kindly just made me a coffee, which I've got just here behind me. I'm not going to leave it too long before I kick off this morning because I just want to get going with what I want to chat about today because I'm very excited about it. Huge thank you to everybody who watched yesterday's video. The views are through the roof. Been going back through some of my previous videos. One of them's got 102 views, so a massive thank you to everybody who is watching these. And yesterday I uploaded my very first video to YouTube, which has been a massive, massive goal of mine. So a massive thank you again to everybody who's watching. So hi Janine, I've seen that you are on this morning. Massively appreciate that. I have crazy hair going on. So yes, I'm not going to leave it long before I crack on. Like I said, I do have a unicorn with me again this morning. This is Ali, the alicorn. Mind her wings, they poke you and they hurt. But I love her. Got her with my onesie for my birthday from my sister. Can't do the unicorn onesie live without the unicorn onesie or the unicorn. So yes. Right. Not leave it long. How is everybody? Are we having a good morning so far? Hi Jamie Greenlees, how are you? Not seen you in a while. Who are you going to call? Right, okay, we're just going to go for it now this morning. I'm buzzing. Ooh, crazy hair. I want to just go for it. So today we're talking about... What are we talking about this morning? I can't remember what I titled the video. I know what I'm talking about. I can't remember how I titled it. Anyway, today we are going to just be basically... I'm just going to read it on my phone because I'm crazy. Brain funk. That is what's going on this morning. Total brain funk. You're keeping positive. Good. I like to hear that, Janine. You're keeping positive. Let me just check my phone. Because my brain has just gone beep. Not putting pressure on ourselves. There we go. Sorry about that. My brain just completely went. It's because I'm buzzing this morning. Right. Don't put pressure on yourself, but keep positive. That's what we want to talk about today. So, very, very easy to put pressure on ourselves. I have always been that sort of person. I'm a perfectionist. Have to get things right. Like to get things right first time. Always been that sort of person. Ever since I was a child. Learned classical violin. Had to get everything right first time. If I didn't, I had to start again. You know, that kind of thing. Don't like getting things wrong. Don't like failing at things. If the light changes, it's the sun outside, by the way. Don't like getting things wrong. Don't like failure. Don't like any of that kind of stuff. And I put pressure on myself to make sure that I get things done on time, to deadlines, that I don't let anybody down. My thing has always been put other people first, make sure that everybody else is happy. I put pressure on myself to the point that I won't sleep, to the point that it makes me ill, and things like that. Had to stop it because that is really, really bad for your health. It's bad for everything. It's not only bad for you, but it's bad for other people as well. I'm getting serious now. That is because it affects your energy. When you put pressure on yourself, you start to let off this bad energy. And bad energy kind of sticks around you and it flows onto other people. Good morning, Duncan. So by putting pressure on yourself, you then end up getting stressed out. When you start to get stressed out, that eventually starts to affect your body. When it affects your body, it also will affect your mind. When it affects your mind, it affects your body, and you end up in this vicious circle. And that kind of thing can make you ill, both physically and mentally. Been there, had it, got the t-shirt, all of that stuff. So I know what I'm talking about here. I'm talking from experience. I'm not talking from just other people's experience. So what I do is when I start to feel that pressure building, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of adrenaline there and a little bit of pressure to meet a deadline, or like for me, end of month goals and stuff like that. That's excitement, and that's something that's different, and that can be good for us if you like that kind of thing. However, when you put pressure on yourself, it can have an adverse effect. It can start to, as I've said, affect you physically, affect you mentally, and it can start to drag you down and drag you down into negativity. And that's when you'll start to see it manifesting itself in physical ways, in mental ways and stuff like that. And that's a big no-no, and we don't want that because it's not good for you. And then what happens is you're then kind of emitting this negative energy, and that will then start to affect the people around you as well, because energy affects everything. It affects you, it affects the people around you, it can affect animals, depending on your beliefs and stuff like that, plants, nature, everything. That's where I am. It may not be where you are, and that's absolutely fine. Everybody has their own beliefs in that. I'm just saying where I am. But energy goes through everything. So once you start emitting that energy, it kind of pulls you down into this really sucky place that's not very nice. So you don't want to be there with that kind of energy. So the way that I started doing it, and I'm still learning, like I said in all my videos, everybody is still learning. It's just a case of where you are on that escalator, staircase, however you want to look at it. It just depends where you are on that. Some people are still down here and they're just starting. That's not a very good staircase shape. Some people are down here and some people are further up. But there's never a top. That's something I want to say. Let's move it up so you can see me. There's never a top. Anybody that thinks they're at the top, I don't personally agree with that, because everybody is still learning. This thing just is continuous. It doesn't stop. You're always, always learning. And that's something that I want everybody to try and grasp here, is that you are always going to be learning every single day. If you think you've reached the top, like I say, I don't agree with that, because there is always something new to learn. I'm not up here. I'm nowhere near, because this doesn't exist. Let's do it this way. I need to draw a graph. You need to remember that you're always taking steps, and you have to work at it every day. So, for me, if I start to feel like I'm putting too much pressure on myself, I'll write a list out. That's the best thing that works for me, is I'll write a list. What do I need to do? When do I need to achieve it by? How can I break it down? How can I kind of, can I pass any of it on to anybody else to help me with? Not to put the pressure onto them, but to kind of help shift it. They say a problem shared is a problem halved. Not my favourite phrase in the world, but it kind of gets the point across. So write a list out. Speak to somebody, see if somebody else can help give you a bit of insight into some ideas. Sometimes an outside perspective, this way, mana. Sorry. I'm trying to make people laugh with this as well. My mission is to make people smile. Sometimes an outside perspective can really help give a bit of insight. Sometimes you can be looking at something inside a box. I'm in a really weird mood this morning. Sometimes you can be looking at something from inside a box, and sometimes having somebody outside that box looking in can really help you look at something and go, I hadn't looked at it like that. I have it all the time. Somebody will say, well, had you thought of it like this instead? Hi, Uncle Paul. Have you looked at it this way instead? And you go, no, actually, I hadn't looked at it that way. And you go, oh, actually, that will really work for me. So try the list thing. See if writing a list out, write down everything you need to do that you're feeling pressured by, and then break it down. Put a deadline against each item and think, right, okay, can that be moved at all? Can I do this with it? Can it be, do I need to do it? Is it necessary? And when you start breaking it down, you'll feel a bit more positive about it. And by then starting to bring that positivity back into it, the pressure starts to lift. It is so easy to get bogged down by pressure, and with pressure you then start to feel negative about it, and then you'll start to beat yourself up, and you'll start feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not going to get this done, I'm just, I'm rubbish at this, I can't do it, and all those kind of thoughts start to come in, and then that negativity creeps in, and you don't want to do that, because then the positivity kind of gets suffocated out. You need positivity to blossom. You need it to be in there and to just kind of go like this and kind of expand out of you. Thoughts become things. If you think you can't do something, then you can't do it. If you think, I've got this, I can tackle this list, then you can tackle this list. I think, therefore I am. That saying makes so much sense because your thoughts become things. If you think, I can meet this deadline, you will meet that deadline. You will find a way to meet that deadline. Break it down. Work out what you need to do. Take the pressure off of yourself by breaking it down. There is always a way to take pressure off. Whether it's writing a list, taking half hour away from whatever it is you're doing, however you need to do it. Speak to friends, speak to family. If you have a work group that you can chat to, do that. Get ideas from other people. Whatever it is you need to do to help you, do it. Because once you start to learn to take that pressure off of yourself, that positivity just comes through, and all it will do is blossom, and it will grow and grow and grow. Shanice just said, sometimes we prioritise the wrong things. Exactly. And what happens is, if you don't know what things you're prioritising, you could have them in the wrong order. So I have, it's not in here, I have a to-do book thing that I just bought from, I think it was Wilkinson's or something, and I have that, and literally all I do is either at the, if I'm going to bed and my head is full of stuff that I know I need to do the next day, I'll fill it in the night before, and it'll be things like I do my lives every day, so that goes in there because I know I'm going to do that. If I've got things that I want to do for work, that goes in there. If I know I want to do the laundry the next day, that'll go in there as well. Whatever it is, if I've got a bill to pay, that'll go in there. Whatever it is, I do that. And like I say, I'll either do it the night before, if it's all in my head and it's buzzing, or first thing in the morning, my laptop goes on, I make myself a coffee, I chill out for 10 minutes, and then I go and look at my list. And I'll put deadlines against each thing, and then I'll look at it and go, okay, so how much of this do I actually need to do today? And I'll kind of go through and I'll prioritise what has to be done that day. And then I look at the rest of it and I'm like, does this matter if it's not done today? And it's like, actually, no, it doesn't. So that then kind of gets numbered differently. And then I kind of tick off as I go. And then at the end of the day, anything that hasn't been done, I put a little arrow next to it so I know to move it on to the next day. And since I've been doing that, I don't feel the pressure. And it's okay. And the other thing that you have to learn to do, absolutely must learn to do, stop beating yourself up when you don't do something. Stop it. Right now. Don't do it. I've been the most guilty person for doing that. Stop it right now. Do not put yourself down. You have to love yourself. A great quote from one of the Jen Sincero books I've been reading. You are the only you there is, and you are the only you that ever will be. Okay? So stop beating yourself up. You are a wonderful person. Absolutely wonderful. So stop putting yourself under pressure and stop beating yourself up. Because everything that you are doing, only you can do. Morning, Lissa. I know I'm sounding harsh here, but it's so true. You are the only you there is, and you are the only you that ever will be. So don't put yourself down. You don't like it when somebody else does it. If somebody else calls you names or puts you down, you don't like it when you don't like that feeling. So why do it to yourself? Stop it right now. Don't do it anymore. Okay? That's my thing for today. No more of that. And I'm going to do the same. Because I catch myself doing it occasionally. I'll do something stupid. Not stupid, but I'll do something. I'll go, whatever. I'm not going to use my language on here. Because I'm keeping this clean. But yeah, and I call myself a name. And then I'm like, no, stop doing that. Because it's not good. And again, you kind of end up putting pressure on yourself and things like that. And I don't want us to do it anymore. So, today, I want us to all try and take the pressure off. Okay? Whether it is lists, whether it is take a day off, whether it is stop beating yourself up because you've not hit a deadline you want, keep the positivity going. That is what I'd like everybody to do today. And if you need tips and advice on how to do it, you can message me or email me, or we can do a message video chat. But taking the pressure off is so important. It will really, really help keep the positivity going. And that is something that is so, so important. Okay? So, we're going to stop pressurising. We're going to stop pressuring ourselves, and we're going to take that off. We're going to write lists. That's what I want everybody to try. Try a list. If a list doesn't work, find something else that works. If you need ideas, we can go through ideas. That's not a problem at all. But that's the best way to start taking the pressure off. I'm a real hands person, aren't I? Like this. Not like this, just like this. That's what we need to do. We need to start taking the pressure off of ourselves, because it's not healthy. It's not good. And it starts to drag us down. You don't want to feel like that. You want to be bursting with energy, and you want to be bursting with motivation and inspiration and everything else. And that is just the most amazing feeling when it happens. And I can really vouch for that, because I know what it feels like. I really do. I'm buzzing. And if I could just get this positivity and motivation and inspiration through the screen to you all, and like bottle it and just give it to you all, I would. I really, really would. Because I want you all to feel as amazing as I do right now. So take the pressure off. Try different ways. See how it works. Get the positivity going. And remember, nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible. And if I can do it, you can all do it too. Okay? So thank you so much for tuning in today. If you've got any suggestions at all for the next video, please do let me know. Send me a message, anything else. This will now be going up on YouTube as well, because I've now started my channel on there. So for people watching on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe if you like the video and you want to see more. I'm hopefully going to be doing these every single day. And thank you to everybody who's watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this. And I will see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.